Okay, so here you play with Janata.
Yeah, Janata came from Czechoslovakia, and he was one of their most promising young players in that period. Anyway, our game decided practically that world championship.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I won, I had the best chances to win the championship. If he won, it was the same position, but reversed. I mean, he had the chance to win.
To become
to become world champion. Yes, right.
Okay, so very important.
Very important game. Probably the most important game of the whole tournament. Like this.
Yes.
C4, C5. Yeah, D5, E5. Knight C3, D6, E4, Bishop E7. Well, the alternative here is, of course, G6 and Bishop G7, which leads to a important, very well-known position from King's Indian. If he plays Bishop G7 and G6 and Bishop G7. Bishop E7 is some other variation, which leads normally to, a very interesting position, but black has to play carefully. That is the only.
And what opening is this one? What is the name of
this
it?
This is the so-called the old Indian. Not the King's Indian, but the old Indian. Well, now probably they changed again the name, but there's some other variation. Almost the King's Indian, but not the same, because the King's Indian is always with the bishop in G7. That is the difference.
Yes.
Yeah. G3 castle and bishop G2 at the first look like this is more quiet for white, but it's not lacking some danger for black. Black has to play very carefully. If you give some small possibility, white is always better in some positional way, and later on we'll see the difference. The idea is to come with the knight from F3 later on. After castling, you put the knight E1 to D3, and there you have a small edge all the time, trying to play on the queen side with A3, B4, or on the other side with F4. You have both possibilities.
So the knight,
with the knight in D3, if you put the knight, in D3, you have both possibilities. You have on the queen side and on the king side.
So the knight can support all this.
You attack the pawn from C5, from E5. And you control the two cases, very important cases, B4 and F4. This is the whole idea, the strategic idea. Yeah. Knight D7, castle, A6, A4.
So blocking B5,
the push B5, okay. Yeah. Rook B8, knight to 1. He tries to play on the other side, Knight G7. And now Rook B1, and here was the moment where he could probably play A5, against the threat B4, but he didn't like the idea to give immediately the case B5 for the knight, to controlling there, and you have no counterplay at all on the queen side, and that gives white the possibility to play immediately on the other side with F4. If you play A5, F4 gives a small edge for white again. But after B6, white has already a very good position and threatens immediately the next move, you'll see, which gives a pawn for a very strong initiative. A4, A5, sacrificing the pawn, but destroying completely the structure of the black pawns. You see, Rook B7 is a defensive move, but is not strong enough to have a very good counterplay. After A5, the position is already very, very dangerous for black, you'll see.
So you give a pawn for the initiative?
I give a pawn for initiative, because now if you take immediately in B4, now the knight comes immediately to B4, C6, and the situation is very bad for black already. So you're almost forced to take in A5.
So the knight can come this way.
Yeah, if you take in B4. Now,
yes.
Instead, well, if you don't take in A5, white takes afterwards in B6 and afterwards in C5. Again, very strong position. And now everything is forced in our game, The next moves, rook takes B1, knight takes B1, knight takes C5. At least he can trade, some pieces.
Some knights.
Yeah, takes. And now, very quickly, bishop B2, rook, bishop D6 is forced, Yeah, knight d2. Now we're preparing somehow to play f4 and knight f3, in some positions. And now queen a1. Queen a1. You attack two pawns in a5 and in e5. So now what can he play? f6, no?
Yeah. So he sacrificed a pawn. He has to give up a pawn.
No, the position, I think we made a mistake somehow because white had already this position, no?
No.
No, now is it? Yeah, okay, f4, and now rook e8 now. Rook e8, and now you take in e5, yeah. Take in e5, takes, yeah. With the pawn, yeah, finally. And in this position, queen a3 gives you the possibility to make a move. But what? What can you move here? If you don't do something...
Why you didn't... you couldn't take there.
No,
you
I
couldn't take
take.
a5.
Now,
okay.
For instance, if he plays queen c7,
yes.
for instance, queen
yes.
c7, after knight b3, white retakes the pawn with a very, very strong initiative.
After knight
queen c7, knight b3, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impossible to defend both pawns in c5 and a5.
Yes.
If white can take back the pawn, he's always almost winning,
Why? So, because you have the...
No, the position is very, very bad. You see the structure,
Yes.
c4, d5, e4 is very good for white. a5, c5, e5, very bad for black. Therefore, black is losing every endgame,
So black has only weak pawns,
yes,
and white has...
Yes, and white has initiative and very, very good structure, So, in my opinion, the position is already lost for black here, yeah. So queen g5 tries to play actively, but is not enough. Knight f3, now you have to go back with the queen, but where? Only in e7, because if you lose the c5 pawn is even worse, So now he's losing the pawn from a5 and the position is destroyed. After bishop g4 is the only move, to have some small counterplay, but now you lose a pawn. Yeah, now the position is completely lost for black, yeah. d6, the best move. And now queen c6. Queen c6.
Attacking more pawns.
Attacking more pawns and threatening also queen d5 check, and you lose the e5 pawn. The e5 pawn is very important here, Now, if you take in f3, after rook takes f3, again the position is terrible because the pawn from d6 wins in every position,
Which pawn from
now if you take, for instance, in f3, after rook takes f3, even if we trade the rook from f8, which is not forced, the endgame is completely lost for black because the pawn is much too strong. The threat is almost to make a new queen after this d7.
It's very close.
Yeah. So rook d8, the last hope, but now it's too late. Queen d5 check, and now he played queen e6, the only move, and now knight takes e5. Now he resigned. Why? It's very easy to see. After rook takes d6,
yes,
you play in between knight takes g4.
Yes.
Yeah. Knight takes g4, rook takes d5, knight h6 check, king h8, rook f8 mate. This is the threat,
Okay, let's play it. So
now, if you take, for instance, in d6, if you don't take in d6, but you have to take in d5 then. Queen takes d5.
Let me see. Okay, so he resigned here, but he takes.
Now, if he plays rook takes d6, knight g4, and now you have to make a move. Take, knight h6 check, yes, king h8, and rook f8 mate.
Yeah.
That was decisive,
Yes.
But everything could happen only because, strategically, black was already lost after 20-25 moves. He had too many weaknesses all over the board like this. Mm-hmm. The position was very bad. All his the pawn structure was very bad for black, and therefore the white's edge was much too big. White had everything in every position, on the queen side, in center, on the king side, everywhere white is better. You had only to choose the right moment where to give the last blow. Tactically. Yeah. So practically this game decided the whole tournament, and I could become later on world champion. It was a premiere for Romanian chess, of course.
Very nice, very beautiful.
Yeah.
And you won like a champion.
Yeah, it was very nice game. Yeah,
Yes.
very beautiful game. We can also say that after this game, the game was published all over the world, of course, and for a period, let's say a few years, nobody played anymore in big tournaments. This variation for black. It was considered to be very dangerous to play it again.
Oh.
The impression was very strong. But of course, the game could be improved. I mean, black could play, of course. Later on, I played it myself in some strong tournaments, and I won a very important game against the American super grandmaster Shevsky.
You played with black?
With black, yes. No, because the variation is playable, of course. You don't resign because of the variation. You have to play well, and you don't have to make some small mistakes. If you have some small mistakes, like Janata did, then white is always better and better and better, and finally decisive advantage.
Yeah.
But the opening is all right. The opening is playable. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you.